Hey, this is Mad Hatter, and I'm here today with another add-on. If you haven't noticed, I've been on a little bit of a kick. I have been asking myself, why can't we have this in Bedrock? And oftentimes it's just because nobody's done it. So today we are back with a new one. This is a Plots Worlds add-on. So if you don't know what Plot World is, it's a creative world where when you enter your plot, you have creative permissions and you can, fly. You can put down redstone. You can enter the creative menu. You can do all of that stuff. So, like, if I were to grab some things, I could, all items that are not actually buildable. So, let's try again with buildable items. If I grab some things, I can start building in here. No, no problem. I can build pillars, you know, do everything up till build height, do all of the normal creative things that you're used to doing in creative. So you can do that in this world. Now, when I walk off of my plot, all of my blocks are gone. I can't break blocks. I can't interface with things. I'm in adventure mode. And then when I go back on my plot, I get creative again and I can re-grab my items. I can block pick. I can continue building. Now, some of you might be asking, why in the world would I want this? And the answer is, well, if you're a content creator and you want your community to be able to build and show you something for a project, like let's say you wanted them to build houses for a big build that you have going on. Let's say you wanted to see who could build the coolest redstone contraption. Let's say that you wanted to see who could fit the smallest clock uh, in a single chunk, or if you wanted to, you know, manipulate the game in some way. I don't know. I just kind of make tools and other people do things with them. You can do that all here and have everybody on the same world. Now, the way that this works is you push this button to get a plot. I've already been given a plot, so when I push the button, it'll take me to the corner of my plot and I can start building. When I leave my plot, I get firework rockets and an elytra so I can go around and visit my friends. And if I get lost, I push the button and I'm back at my plot. Now, I'm going to run some commands to take my plot away as if I was a fresh player. Slash. First thing I'm going to do is remove the fact that I was given a plot. Remove my plot number. And then run this command here, which is event entity at, and this would be the player name, plotz.removeAll. I'll put a link or a copy of that in the description of the video. When I run that, now I have no tags. So if I go to tags at s list, I have no tags, and then that event has been cleared. So when I push a button, I am given a new plot. So I have creative privileges in this plot. I can build, do whatever I want. When I walk off, I no longer have creative privileges. I can go over to this plot that I used to have. I can't do anything here. I gave up that plot by using those commands, and now I have a new one. So that is how it works from a user perspective. That's how we play in the world. We have our own plot, we can build in it, we can fly around, we can look at other people's builds, we can get inspiration, we can do all of that in creative together without having to set up individual creative worlds and give permissions. But how did I make this plot world thing? Well, let me let me show you. First thing is it's another tool that I wrote again in Python because, that's what Hatter does. This is the tool when you execute it. It runs just like all the rest of my programs. I will have it put on GitHub like the rest of my programs. It's fully open source. It's written in Python. You can edit it. You can learn from it, all of that good stuff. But this is the actual interface to generate your own add-on. So you can set your plot size to any size that you want. So if I set it to 64 blocks by 64 blocks here, you can set the road width to whatever you want. The road is the this area between plots. You can set that to larger or smaller depending on what you want. And then you can set the number of plots as big as you want. The more plots that you have, the more lag that will be generated when you push the button, but it only generates when you push the button. So I just generally set this to something reasonable, like 30, 100, 50, something like that. If you set it to 10 million, it will be a lag spike every time you push the button. I hit make pack, and just like my other tools, there is a pack you double click on. It imports into Minecraft. And then now you can create a new world. And I'm going to make a flat world. It sets it to creative. You can set the difficulty however you want. And I'm going to go to behavior packs. I'm going to add the pack that I just made. Hit activate, continue. Make sure that you have cheats on. And then hit create. Now, one of the things that I usually do after this is I immediately leave the world, save and quit. After it's created, I go and I edit, and I turn it into adventure mode or survival mode, and I leave cheats on. The reason that I create it, I found that sometimes if I create it with adventure mode, it'll change the setting down here from flat world to something else, and then it gets kind of messed up. So I always make the world, then leave, and then come back. And now I have just a normal flat world that's in creative. And I run a function. This is function start world. That's all I got to do. And it teleports you around a little bit. And look, this hut's already built. I push the button and I got my plot. And this plot is much bigger. It's 64 by 64. Now, if I were to run those commands again, that the remove all, the remove plot1, and the remove plotgiven. Now, again, this would be how I came in fresh into the world with nothing. I'm acting like a brand new player. If I push this button, I would get plot 2. And you see there's still space between the plots. I still have the equal sized plot, and it's going to just keep giving new people new plots. So one of the things that what are the rules that get set? What are the things that happen when I run that start world function? What it does is it actually turns off a lot of the griefing rules. So for instance, in my plot, if I grab TNT and I put it down and I grab a flint and steel, I can't light it. I can light it on fire, I can do whatever, but I can't do that. It turns fire tick off so that the fire won't spread, it won't go out. It turns PvP off. It disables fall damage so that way when you aren't paying attention, it doesn't hurt you. It disables fire damage, so if I light this on fire outside of my plot and somebody stands in it, they don't die. It disables drowning and suffocation. A whole bunch of quality of life things just to make sure that people aren't messing with each other. It also disables mob griefing. So if I, let's say, a creeper, and then I were to grab a flint and steel, and, you know, spawn a whole pile of creepers and then light them on fire, they'll blow up still, but they won't break any blocks. If I place end crystals down and I place obsidian, that, you know, it won't actually break any blocks, which is really nice from a griefing perspective. You can't make TNT cannons and fire them at your neighbors and break them. It doesn't prevent all griefing. There's still things that inventive players will come up with to harm the people in the plot next door. If they do that, that's when the moderation team has to step in. I can't prevent everything, but I tried my best to make it so that it would be light on moderators to keep this plot world together. Some things you're just gonna have to still handle in person. Generally, I try to turn all of the rules into a rule set that doesn't require mod intervention where I could, and it all happens automatically with that start world function. So that is all you really have to do. So this is really kind of a simple video. You put a add-on on like you would normally. People come here, they push their button, they get their plots, they start building. You don't have to worry as much about moderation of the player interactions because they're frozen into their plot for building. They still get to look around at their friends' builds and fly around the world and see what's going on. But generally this is pretty light. So that's all I have for you today. This is Mad Hatter. Links are in the description. I have several other tools. There's probably some iCards up right now that show you Structura or world making using 3D models or any number of things. So go check them out, and I'll see you again when I have something else to show you, or when I have some other Minecraft thing that you might be interested in. Anyway, this is Mad Hatter, and I'm out. Bye!